This is Susan's paper making workshop. Here she has a Hollander blender for creating paper pulp.
Susan, do you think something this shape only like longer horizontally? Or bigger? Seems a little small.
Seems a little small. I don't know if I could.
Taller. Square? Oh, got it.
This is Susan working with one of her students who's attending the workshop. And Susan's assisting her in considering how she's going to proceed with her project.
Okay, since you have so much paper, Selena, we'll just take it back. You can make a little teeny one.
Hi Susan, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Susan Hersey, and we're having a pulp spraying workshop here today, and everyone's making structures and learning how to spray with paper pulp. So you can come and see some of the results. Here's one.
Exciting. Let me come over here and look.
There's one that made by
This
Suki
is-
Diamond,
Here's one that's
and there's another one that hasn't been sprayed yet. The structure.
This structure over here,
By
not
Kathy.
the fan, but this beautiful loopy twig structure here.
That's Kathy Paley. She's coming back to do it.
That'll be
Then
fun.
we have some out here. This is
Here's,
my studio outside where we
spray them.
yeah.
ooh, Phyllis, will you demo the sprayer for us? Wonderful. So bright. Okay. You can tell me what you're doing as we go along. That would be great.
I'm going to be spraying my piece over there, which is hanging because it's kind of a round.
Oh, all right. This hanging is yours then.
So-
All right. Ooh. All right.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
This is not something you do in your condominium.
No, and I've never actually seen anyone do it. I think it's probably a very unique process. Are there other pieces out here that you've worked on in the course of your workshop? Ah, it's here drying. Okay.
As you might guess, I have something that looks a little like a boat.
Uh-huh.
And this one needs more spray.
It also has a lovely pod-like quality too,
Yeah.
like a milkweed pod or something.
I am trying it to dry it this way because I want it to look more like a scoop than, say, a sail.
Uh-huh.
So that's what is in the process.
Later on, will you add anything to the surface?
I will probably cut away all the gauze and then build on that framework. I'm thinking of building some pieces that go over the top. That would be part of the piece. But this is the start, and I have a piece inside that is kind of sail-like, but it got too flat. But you know, this is what workshops are for.
Let's have a
Gives you
look.
a chance to experiment and try stuff, and it's
Absolutely.
not like we're trying to make masterpieces here.
Absolutely. And, well, you'd be surprised what happens spontaneously, too. All kinds of masterpieces happen because of the fortunate accident. This is a really cool piece, too.
And she's making a cast over there, which is
I see.
another experiment.
I see, I see. I wasn't sure at first, but now I see that there is, in fact, the outline of
It's
a
gonna
figure in here.
take a lot of layers of pulp
Uh-huh.
to make it thick enough to be able to lift off and have it mold. That's
There
it.
are all
It's
kinds of
normally-
things that you can try. So what are some of the features of... Oh, sure, let's watch dipping. This is, what is this that you're dipping?
Hardware wire
Okay, hardware cloth.
cloth. I'm gonna make a lampshade. Voila!
Aha!
Probably 2 or 3 cup dips, and it will have enough paper on it for a good effect.
Do you wait for it to dry in between dips?
You don't have to.
You don't have to? It'll just
Oh, with the
cling
dipping,
to its...
Maybe you want to let it dry somewhat.
Yeah, it has
Because
to
it'll
set
just come
up
off.
some.
But with the spraying, you don't have to let it dry. It's this one fell over and got some dirt on it, so
Well, that'll just be part of
so
something.
I'm
The story.
waiting for it to dry a little bit and then sort of brushing it off. So I think she can spray it again.
Well, Susan, I took the pins off this one and it gapped again, so I'll have to make it
Oh,
the most of the gap.
maybe when it's dry, totally dry, before you finish it, you could put something in it. Okay, now you could spray that one again, I think.
So where does your paper pulp come from? Did you
I-
create it, or?
Yes, I created, I get linters that are made from cotton and also from fibers from abaca. It comes from the banana plant.
Uh-huh.
And so I soak it and then I beat them and it comes out like this.
How do you beat them?
I have
With a
Hollander
stick?
beater
You have a
inside.
Hollander beater, not a stick. Okay, what does
Not a
that mean
stick.
to beat it?
I have a Hollander beater in here.
So you have a wonderfully equipped studio for
Yes.
paper making.
This is a Hollander beater. I've only had it about 8 years. It's not something I used to always have, but it's very nice for beating paper pulp.
Uh-huh. And these are your pieces here behind that you're working on?
That I've done. And these are some I've been working on. This one.
Let me back up a little bit here. Did you mentioned asking people to bring bits of fabric and things like that? Did anything like that wind up in the paper
So,
slurry?
not so far. They haven't
Okay.
used fabric. I don't know if they will.
Okay.
They,
About how long does it take to create, say, a structure like that that's covered and sprayed and from
Well,
start to finish?
Well, probably takes a morning to make the structure, and then it takes a lot of layers if you really want it covered. And none of these people are really covering theirs as much as I do because they don't have the time.
Uh-huh.
It takes quite a lot, lots and lots of layers.
So it's a kind of a tough surface by the
Yeah,
time you're
right, by the time
you're done.
It is. And so they aren't so concerned about that. Some of them are making lights, but and some of them are just doing the structures.
Uh-huh.
So they'll just, whatever comes out will come out.
Sure, sculptures. Are you all having fun? Do you feel like you've had a good time? And
Oh, they seem to be very enthusiastic.
here I'm looking at your
Started
sail
out
shape, Phyllis.
I was thinking sail, but it turned out to be kind of a fish.
Ooh. I like to see the structure too,
Yeah.
though. I like the
Yeah.
lines that it makes.
But I think it's going to end up being part of something else,
Uh-huh.
with maybe it may turn on something,
Ooh.
but it needs more embellishment because it tended to go flat in the spraying when it was meant to be curved. So I've learned a lot about how to make sure you keep curve when you're spraying things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've experimented with materials I never used before and never would have if I hadn't come here.